Muntaka is my colleague and a very good friend. We worked together in the past. But today, Honorable Muntaka is continuously pointing at me with his left hand. In my culture, it is as well.
Yes, continue. Yes, Speaker. I apologize. I will point my left hand at you. I will keep pointing to you with my right hand. You know I'm left-handed, so sometimes I forget and I use my left hand. I'll be mindful, even though it will rule out. Mr. Speaker, I can notice on the side of the majority group, a former senior colleague of the House, current Agric Minister, is not properly dressed to be in this chamber. And I want to direct him to either get out, to come back to the House properly dressed. He is not properly dressed to be in the chamber. The Agric Minister is not properly dressed because he's wearing a suit without a tie. Mr. Speaker, in that respect, may I respectfully refer the House to the book written by the respected jurists Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu and S.N. Dako on an introduction to the law, practice, and procedure of Parliament of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, that is clearly stated the distinguishing between the quorum for conducting business. So that is Article 102. We are talking about our constitution and our standing orders. And you are talking about a book somebody has written that nobody... But Mr. Speaker, I was referring to the votes and proceedings of Friday, 26 November 2021, when I said that the votes reported, and accurately and rightly so, the votes and proceedings of Friday, 26 November 2021, reported that the Honorable Sarah Ajua-Safo was absent with permission. And therefore, I'm saying that if 137 took a decision which was declared a nullity, and the same 137 yesterday took a decision, it's only appropriate. We do not recognize that the presiding officer of the Speaker has an original or a casting vote, and therefore you could not be more than 137. I say some move.
Mr. Speaker, this is a house of record, and as the former deputy majority leader of this house, I was present in this house yesterday. Mr. Speaker,
you are not here. That's all.
Mr. Speaker, and to state categorically that I cannot force Honorable Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who is my friend on the other side, to dress the way I want him to dress. And that is an insult on womanhood. And so those making that noise, Mr. Speaker, should withdraw. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, order. Mr. Speaker, my colleague Honorable Ajua-Safo, that in a point of order was talking about, she was present yesterday. Mr. Speaker, very soon we'll get to know whether Honorable Ajua-Safo was truly in the chamber yesterday or it was a different person who was there yesterday.
the chamber. But we observed the proceedings on television. Mr. Speaker, we listened to the majority group leader move the motion. And he moved the motion pursuant to Order 51. But Mr. Speaker, Order 51, as you are saying, is controlled by Order 52. Mr. Speaker, assuming without admitting that that is indeed the position, we did not hear you, Mr. Speaker, say that prior to coming to this chamber, he had consulted you in a written statement. We did not hear you. We did not hear you put before this House evidence of the written statement. Why is it that suddenly today, when we seek to also move pursuant to the same order, the issue of a written statement has become an obstacle? If yesterday a written statement was not necessary and it was not displayed in this House, and you did not make reference to it in this House, how come that today a written statement has suddenly become so important? Mr. Speaker, if there was a written statement, I urge Mr. Speaker to display the written statement before us today. Here and now, Mr. Speaker, there was no written statement. Let's run to the same order. I therefore second the motion moved by the minority leader.
Every opportunity to speak to me about this, whether on phone or in the chamber. The first time I saw him today was when I was processing into the chamber. We shared greetings. He didn't mention any such thing to me. So very clearly, the prior approval part has not been sought. The Honorable Mahama Ayariga is saying that if there was prior approval sought in the majority leader's application yesterday, I should put the evidence before the House. It is a very interesting request made of me. It is such very loud comments, but I'll strive to ignore them. However, I will permit you to make your application and then I will determine what.
He's permitting, accepted. He's permitted.
I'll permit the honorable member for Boko to now make your second, and then I'll listen to contributors and I'll make my ruling.
I raised this very matter about the confusion in how the minister captured proceedings. And if he listened to me, if you are in the chamber, you would have realized the point that he's making. I made the same point, that portion is inappropriately captured. It's sad that we're not here, so you want to bring us back. And that is why you should have been here. But Mr. Speaker, I've heard arguments about what obtains in the Constitution. And let me make a distinction. Mr. Speaker, you don't need to be a lawyer to understand this. You need to have common sense. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution in the very article that people have been talking about, Article 104, talks about the Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, 104 provides that 104.2 that they are quoting. The Speaker shall have neither an original nor a casting vote. The Speaker, I want to suggest that the Speaker mentioned here is not a Deputy Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Article 95 draws a distinction between a Speaker and a Deputy Speaker. Mr. Speaker, then 101 says, the Speaker shall preside, not a Speaker, the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, people should be well educated and informed before they make pronouncements. It is about the Speaker and not a Speaker. The Speaker, so we come to 102, which provides that a quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all members of Parliament. And then 104(2) goes on to provide the Speaker shall have neither an original nor casting vote. The Speaker, I want to suggest to my colleagues that that Speaker that's been mentioned is the Speaker elected under the Constitution in Article 95, not a Deputy Speaker. Don't confuse the two. Don't misread and misinterpret the Constitution. This, Mr. Speaker, is the fine line of distinction. Mr. Speaker, he is a Speaker, not the Speaker.
Order, please. Order.
A Deputy Speaker is a Speaker, not the Speaker. That's the distinction. That is the distinction. And I thought people clothing themselves with professorial clothing would understand this basic thing. Mr. Speaker, so if you think anywhere the Speaker is mentioned, it should have universal application to envelop the two Deputy Speakers. Then, Mr. Speaker, let's go to Article 95.5, which provides. 95.5 provides. The Speaker, let me read. 95.5. The Speaker shall receive such salary and allowances, and on his retirement, such retiring allowance as to be determined in accordance with Article 71 of this Constitution. So that should include the Deputy Speakers. That should include the Deputy Speakers. That refers to the Speaker. This, you can't even appreciate this. Mr. Speaker, so let's put that one aside. Because the two Deputy Speakers don't come under Article 95.5. It is about the Speaker.
Muntaka.
That's a distinction that you should appreciate. Mr. Speaker, now let me go on to the issue.
But let him be reminded that when I quoted Order 51, you rose and quoted 52. Mr. Speaker, let him complete the reading of 1091. Complete it for the record. And then, Mr. Complete it for the record, Mr. Speaker. Then you say Speaker. Mr. Speaker includes a member presiding at a sitting. Don't set aside our standing orders. You are grossly misleading this house. So let him complete standing order 1091. Don't read it halfway. Read it in full for our purposes. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, heard anything here today which was not discussed yesterday. All the arguments that have been made were practically the arguments and the issues raised and discussed and contained in my ruling yesterday. There are a few matters, though, which I wish to clarify. First, it must be clear that a Deputy Speaker is not a Speaker. Indeed, Article 96(1). Article 96(1) of the Constitution says, and I quote, there shall be 2 Deputy Speakers of Parliament who shall be elected by members of Parliament from among members of Parliament. And to contrast that with Mr. Speaker is not a member of Parliament. I am a member of parliament. The Honorable Second Deputy Speaker is a member of parliament, and our role is to assist the Speaker in managing this house. So, any attempt, any attempt to read, Honorable Member, if you don't keep quiet, I will be forced to ask you to leave. Any attempt to read and interpret the Constitution of Mr. Speaker to include the Deputy Speakers is a misreading and a misapplication of the Constitution. But when Mr. Speaker is not available, either of us will preside on the House. So can any other member, if necessary. Any other member can be elected by the House to preside. That member does not lose his right to be a member of the House. That is what our standing orders say. Honourable members, when it comes to the question of voting, it is very clear. Anytime any of the deputy speakers or any other member elected to preside is in the chair, that member does not vote. That has never been in dispute. Anytime a member is presiding, either a deputy speaker or a member who by necessity is elected from among members to preside, that person does not vote.
He's debating. We are debating.
Who was that?
Shut up! You should shut up, brother.
Who was that? And I shall find that person and vote him out. Has been made, and it is not new. I was here on this side of the House when the matter relating which the Honorable Jinapor referred to and repeated by the Speaker was made. The first ruling was made by Honorable Martin, the then First Deputy Speaker. It's related to the Bank of Ghana Act, in which we had ruled, we had voted. The members in the minority were more than the members in the majority. But when you add the two together, it did not add to 1/2 of the members. And so the presiding Deputy Speaker then said that vote is invalid. Those on the minority challenged it. But when Mr. Speaker, Honorable Doajaho came, he explained that, and he referred to the constitutional provision to justify that unless 50% or more were in the House, the vote was invalid. That has been stated and over again. But members refer to, the applicants refer to Article 104 and says that unless otherwise provided. Yes. Let's go to Article 104. Article 104, it says voting in Parliament. It should be differentiated from 102, which says quorum in Parliament. 102 says quorum in Parliament. 104 says voting in Parliament. And that is the interpretation given by the Honorable Doajaho, Right Honorable Doajaho. So a clear distinction has been set out and it is on record in this House. Again, when members argue that except otherwise provided in the Constitution, it is clear that it is provided for in Article 2912, where it is required that a decision be made by 2/3 of members. It doesn't mean that we should go to the quorum for. So, honorable members, let me put on record that I am a member of Parliament. I was counted to make the quorum, and
that was
I
suspended in this house.
But
what are you doing?
you can't rule on it.
We have to take a decision.
I did not vote while presiding. Therefore, the application,
He cannot
the
rule.
request, the
He cannot rule on
application
an
is
motion. That is before the house.
No.
How can he rule on a motion? He cannot rule on the motion before the house. How can he rule? So I understand the order.
Honourable members, sitting is suspended for 1 hour.
You are not a speaker. You are not a speaker. Shut up!